Yo, what up? It's Hoop. It's the Hatening. We're back. Hi. Today I want to talk about texting, the act of texting. You know what I mean? It's something that is huge, obviously. We all do it for the most part. And I say that knowing a few people who just don't do it out of spite or like to make a point. But for the most part, everybody texts. Everybody is sending text messages all the time. I'm old enough to remember when texting became a thing and when they cost like, what, 25 cents, 50 cents a fucking message, you know? Like back when they first like came around. Oh, excuse me. Have fun editing that, Andrew.
No.
You know, when texting first started, like it was expensive as shit to send a text message. It was like this weird luxury that people had, you know, and you had like a set number of texts you could send a month. And then there was like the times when they would be free and shit. You know, like it was such a fucking racket. And now it's like, I don't know, like I've tried to explain that to some younger people and they like have no idea what I'm talking about. But like, yeah, there used to be a limit to how many fucking texts you could send. But no, like the main thing I wanted to kind of talk about is like how texting has become like a preferred mode of conversation for a lot of people, you know, myself included. Like if you want to get a hold of me, I would much rather you sent me a text message than like called me or like tried to hit me up on like a social media account or something. Just text me, you know. And I know a lot of people who are in the same boat, you know, but also that being said, I know a lot of people who just like don't text, who aren't good at texting. And it gets weird, like, because a lot of stuff gets lost in translation when you send text messages. And it's also just like this thing where sometimes people don't reply right away or reply ever. And that can send a lot of weird messages. Sometimes people respond instantly. That can send a lot of weird messages. It's complicated. Like texting etiquette is a real thing. I think it's sort of like underrated. Like when we talk about like social relations between people and how people, you know, act with other people and stuff. But like texting is, it's a very like nuanced thing. People read into shit a lot, you know, like we all know people who treat text messaging like they're writing fucking letters and they capitalize everything correctly. They use punctuation correctly. You know what I mean? And then there's other people who just like don't use any punctuation, who are horrible at spelling, who use crazy lingo, who try to use a bunch of abbreviations. Like we also know people who just like don't ever respond or respond notoriously late, right? You can also like trip yourself up really quick where you're like, okay, I know this person's always on their phone and they're not answering me. They must be mad, right? Oh, we've been having a conversation for 30 minutes back and forth. They stopped responding. Oh shit, you know? Or like, let's be real. Like a lot of times, like if you're talking to someone like that you like or something, you send a text message. There's so much anxiety when you see those little bubbles pop up, you know? Or like you get worried that you worded something weird because it's very easy to take something in a different way than it was intended over a text message, right? And that's just the way it is. Like there's no real account for like inflection or emotion or anything in a text. All of us have dealt with that. All of us who text people have dealt with that. You say something, it gets interpreted in another way. Now you have an issue on your hands, you know? And it's just cool. Like, I don't know. I find it really funny. I find it really cool and really interesting. Like I would have never thought like being a kid and being told what text messaging is, that it would be like the cornerstone of fucking communications. And it really is. Like texting is like probably like, I don't have any statistics in front of me, but it's like it has to be like the most commonly used like form of communication, especially if you consider like instant messaging and stuff to be texting. Like it's crazy how much we text and how many people we text. And like, I don't know, there's a lot of rules that people can create for themselves and for other people with texting, you know, because obviously like with texting, there's like sexting and flirting and people can like threaten each other and be really nasty and really mean over text messages. And it's like people talk differently on the phone than they do in real life. Like, you know, we all know that like people can talk real big and bad over text message. Then you meet them in real person, they're not like that. You know what I mean? And that's like psychologically, I think that's something to do with like you're able to like maybe be like more your true self, more who you want to be. Like you can let down some of your social walls if you're just like in your room on a phone as opposed to looking someone face to face. You know, I think that there really is something to that. But it's just, I don't know, like it's fun, right? It's like, it's funny to think about like how people text. Because I know people who are great in person who are very good conversationalists, who are real fun to be around, but they are bad at texting. They are boring. They don't ever fucking respond. It's hard to get an answer out of them, you know? And then there's other people who are very shy, who are very sheepish, but then they text up a storm and they're always on their phone, you know? And it's cool. It's cool to watch that, like, sort of play out, that, like, difference sort of, like, play out. But yeah, like, most of my communications with my friends and family is done through texting. I would imagine that you're probably the same. I honestly get a little anxious when I see someone calling me that I'm not expecting, because I feel like it has to be something real important. You know what I mean? But I'm pretty good at, like, responding to texts and, like, kind of conveying my thoughts in a way that, like, can't really be interpreted in another way, I think. I mean, God knows, like, it still happens, but it's like texting is definitely a skill that's acquired. It's not really hard to like develop a good texting style, but it is just like, that's how most of us communicate. It's pretty cool. It's very important. Socially, it's a very important thing. But yeah, that's basically the episode. If you like the show, please like and subscribe, give us a good review, tell your friends, all that good stuff. You can find us on social media, and from there you can find the individual profiles for myself and Andrew. I mean, yeah, take care of yourself and the people around you, and don't forget to tell your friends you love them.